All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. This is episode 2 of the podcast that has been named The Q, which I just found out 4 seconds ago. And we're back, and this time we're joined by someone extra, looking incredibly swole, may I say. We got Gunnar, we got Hwinn, we got Tig, and myself. I can't really concentrate because just the veins just popping out of Hwynn's shoulders right now. This is what it looks like when you have to carry a team, right? Is that how it works? Like, the bigger you are, the more you can carry. Anyway, I'll let you guys say hello and introduce yourselves, and we'll jump into the topics.
Hey, there's a reason why I'm so jacked.
Okay. All right, well, introduce yourself then.
Hello, my name is Gunnar. You can call me Gunnar Owen. I am the coach of Soniqs PUBG. I, too, am looking kind of swole. Look at these traps right here. Been hitting the gym.
Honestly, don't see a difference.
That's fair. But,
That voice box workouts.
Should we do all vests for episode 3? That's all we're going to do?
I'm down, yeah. I'm down.
I only have a wife beater, so.
We need a Sonics calendar.
Yeah, we do. That would sell.
Online with
I'm
the
down.
guns.
I've been going to the gym 3 times a week. We can do
Did
this.
you see that, Bizzle?
Yeah.
Last night?
What was that?
We were
Biz-
doing the
yeah.
photo shoot last night, filming content. Mine whipped his shirt off. He was taking photos with the guns.
With guns.
Sorry, we're getting off track again. Sorry, Gunnar, we got derailed.
All right. Yeah, I'm Gunnar. I'm the coach of Soniqs PUBG. We're just preparing and getting ready to leave for their PGS, their first international event of the year, which is in Malaysia. So it's pretty exciting. I should be leaving here in about 10 days. So we've been preparing for that. And yep, that's me.
Hwinn, captain, IGL, all-round buff superstar, oldest man in PUBG, question mark?
I don't think so. Maybe I'm getting close.
He's got a bit bad.
Yeah.
First, I'm Hunter Hwinn. I'm the in-game leader for Sonic, and I'm the oldest on the team, so they call me Boomer.
Is it true? Are you a boomer? I was just going to say, I got distracted by Gunner's mug for half a second there. He's drinking out of is that a reindeer?
Yeah, I think so. It's Terrence.
So, and it's currently Christmas?
Well, no, but it's good mug.
Okay.
Good mug.
All right. And then I think from the last time we were here, he's actually been able to fill in some facial hair. Sideburns are still missing, but please, James, introduce. By the way, we just got to say, for those of you who didn't see, James had a horrific experience about 5 weeks ago, was it now? 4 or 5 weeks ago. Yeah. It was absolutely tragic. He went and got his hair cut, and let's just say he went from Goldilocks to, I don't know, it didn't look good.
Yeah, Pete my fade, and Pete my beard fade, too.
Man,
Yeah, that's goals for you, Hwinn. Don't even lie.
I like that.
You
All right,
need,
go ahead.
need one of those for
The
your
haircut. Dude, I got one curl.
I will say, I am kind of digging the new look thing, the goatee and the short hair. I think you look good. But anyway, feel free.
I like
sure
it too. I like it too.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that, Bizzle.
You're welcome.
Help yourself.
That's
All right. Let's move into it.
That was your
myself.
Oh yeah.
Dyson, hello, esports enjoyers.
Oh god.
I am Tiggleton. That's fine. I don't even know what to say, bro.
No, that's fine. Let's just leave it at that. I think that was the most Tiggleton intro we've ever had. So I want to go into the changes that we've had since we last spoke, and obviously the big change. And I think last time we did this, we already knew we were in the global partner team program. I'm pretty sure.
We knew, but we couldn't say it.
We couldn't say. Obviously, we couldn't say it. If Luke or Coy want to correct that, they can, or agree and say it was, because we do have 2 spectators here, making sure we don't say stupid things. I know they just swore, for instance, and I stopped myself. But obviously, the announcement is out now. The global partner teams have been announced. We are the only team in North America to have got a slot. I want to throw this over to you guys, what it means to you to be part of this, of a partner team to you personally, and then I'll jump in and talk about myself and the Soniqs, and we'll go from there.
I think that as a team, collectively, we've worked really, really hard to make sure that we have a large presence outside of the actual just competitions. We stream a lot. We have a bigger presence on social media. We film content. So it feels great to be rewarded for that and recognized for that on PUBG's behalf, and to be a part of the GPT. I actually think that was how long has the Sonics been in PUBG? Since 2019? 2018? PG?
Since its inception, I would think.
Yeah, practically.
And me even longer.
Yeah, you with Team Gates. We've been involved in this esport for a very long time. So that's obviously, that was our goal from the start, just to get into a big time peer league system.
So do you think it's more of a reward to say, oh, all my hard work's finally paying off, we're going to have skins in the game, etc., etc.?
Hope so. You deserve it, that's for sure. Your commitment to this game. I mean,
they don't come with a back-to-back Org Royale champion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've been committed to this game for a while. You have a lot of passion into it. Obviously, the team's performance and the players' work ethic and stuff. So, yeah. I mean, you definitely deserve it.
I was so happy when I heard about this. I mean, I think it's been a long time coming. I think esports skins should be a thing in every game. It's a great source of revenue for any esports team. And for us at the Sonics, obviously, like you said, we've been involved in this for a long, long time. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, are we one of the oldest rosters now? Because this roster's been together for a long time without any changes. Is there a roster that's older than ours? That would be a good...
No.
It's a 3-year anniversary of me coming off the bench. I think it's our 3-year anniversary of that.
We could technically do another year because you are still on the roster.
Yeah.
Let's go on. We have Profi.
Yeah, that's what I guess.
Almost 3.5.
3.5 years. See, that's a long... I think that's a long time in any esport, never mind just PUBG, to keep a team together. But obviously, we all get along. We've had loads of success along the way.
Big loads.
So they, it's important for us to be recognized by a game that we play in, where they say, we really value you and we want you to be part of this program. So it's huge for the Sonics. Obviously, a quick segue into, we know what our skins look like. We spent many a design session making these skins, and we spent a lot, I think, longer than any other skin set we've ever made for any game. We spent on this, and mainly that's because we had you idiots putting in feedback, and it would change, like the wind changes direction, and you drove poor AP crazy. But from we won't talk about our skin set just yet, but the skin sets that we've seen so far, what do you think? Let's go to you first, Hunter.
I mean, I really haven't looked at the other team skins too much.
I mean, I thought that was come.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a default everything kind of player, but I made it. I think most of the teams are using the same guns. So I don't really want to leak what gun we did, but a lot of teams had to pick the same ARs and DMRs.
Uzi.
Yeah, there wasn't much selection. I think the only rifles you could choose were like AK, or I don't even know if SCAR was an option. So it's like AK, SCAR, but there's no M4 barrel. It'd been nice to get like maybe an Ace or an MK skin in there since they're coming to comp. But yeah, it was a little bit limited.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm just excited because I think our skins are going to sell, particularly because of the colors.
Okay. We can't tell you what that color scheme is, but it's great.
It's green and red. But yeah, I mean the skins so far, obviously I've seen them all, and I think they look really good. I think either PUBG, whether they designed it or whether the team with a personal designer, I think they did a good job at least representing their organizations and like the color scheme that the organization represents, like such as like Navi, like they had like the yellow and black set and everything. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I think obviously it was already announced that the first batch will be coming out for PGS. We're not involved in that one, so
they're saving the best for last.
Yeah, exactly. They're saving the best for last, which would be us, Gen G, Twisted Minds, and 4 a.m. So that is true. Yes, Peros is already coming out. Yeah. So
I didn't actually play the games.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of the a lot of big organizations and big fan bases are coming out in their second batch, us being one of them. So I think that's also pretty cool as well. and I really love our design. I think designer did a great job at that, and obviously you guys did a great job at that as well. So I'm
A lot
super
different
excited.
than what we've seen so far, I would say. I would think.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. I feel like
It's very different,
like
which is great.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
So-
excited to see the implementation into the game because obviously we have the blueprints.
Right.
Yeah,
I want to see how
that's
it
true.
looks on
You want to see how it looks
the
in
skin.
ultra low textures,
Blob textures.
pixel art. Okay, cool. So, I mean, it's great. We're excited for that to come out. Keep an eye on it. It'll be out at a later date. I don't know if they've announced what date it comes out, but it's not too long. Okay, great. Skins are in the game. Let's move on. Let's talk about, obviously, I and Seth, who's not here right now because he is casting our Rainbow Six team is currently playing in our last chance qualifier to go to Denmark. We sat down at the end of last year and we really wanted to make a change and freshen things up a little bit with the PUBG team. We were very, very happy with our players and our players' performances and the ability of our players, but I'd pinpointed personally that our team lacked some things. They need more help in more outside scheduling and being held more accountable of, being kept on time, even though Gunnar was late to this today, which we'll talk about shortly.
Gunnar was late all day today. I've been sick as shit. I'm sorry.
So we'll go this to you, Tig. Obviously we made a big change. So what's been the biggest difference now working with Gunnar into this new system that we've got going?
I think that Gunnar brings a lot of maturity to the team and also this vibe where he wants the team to function like a very disciplined family where we'll be closer than ever before. We'll be spending way more time with each other and working way harder, but we'll also be held more accountable. That's like the number one thing I think Gunnar's been doing really, really well with since he joined the team is just making sure that everyone's accountable. We're showing up early. There's discipline, there's punctuality. And I just think that he kind of leveled up the maturity of our team. And obviously, a lot of that probably comes from his experience in the military. He can implement lifestyle changes that he experienced throughout his life into our team and help us improve in that way.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. That's why I wanted him here so bad, and I'm glad. I've been trying to, I've known Gunnar for longer than PUBG, probably.
Yes, that is correct.
And I am glad. Nothing made me happier than when I was able to bring him onto the Sonics, because I know what he can bring, and I knew he'd be a massive help there. And he's a pretty decent poker player too, from what I've heard.
Yeah, I'm the fourth time.
What about you, Hwinn? Because obviously you've been the captain, the IGL of the team. Have you seen any differences in the last, couple of months in the way the Sonics have been preparing and the way the Sonics have been performing? However it may be. Because obviously you've normally led the team in game, so this would be a great insight.
Yeah.
For the fans.
I like how Tig put it, where Gunnar kind of makes us feel like a functioning family. Like, I feel like when I first built this team and tried to help structure it, I was the dad, but I eventually turned into just kind of like the oldest brother, and we're all kind of like brothers, and we have a great time. But at the end of the day, on a team, you need structure, punctuality, showing up on time, and I think Gunnar adds just a new level of like respect to the team. Everyone's hungry. Everyone knows that we've got certain things to improve on if we want to continue to be the best. So I just think Gunnar adds a new element, and then he's also been helping us with our comms. Like, we really might not be able to learn too much in the sense of like improving individually from Gunnar, but as far as like working as a unit, listening back to our comms, seeing how we can improve in different situations, he's been a big help.
And I will say, once listening back to your comms and comparing it to other teams that we have, you definitely have the best comms on the Sonics, because sitting in on, say, another team, another Rainbow Six scrims, I've been honestly tempted to get Gunnar in there to help that out, because sometimes it's like a zoo in there. But yeah, that's great. So Gunnar, I'll flip the question to you. You obviously made a big change. You were with STK for a long time. I know we all love the people over at STK. I know we all
of course.
Talk a little bit shade sometimes, but we're all big fans of the people there. I think everybody in American PUBG has been around for so long now that we all just know each other so well. What would you say has been the biggest difference for you? Has there been anything that shocked you? Anything that surprised you? Anything that you were like, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah, I mean, like when I first came over, I didn't really. I'll just pull a Purdy here and be blatantly honest. Like, I didn't really like the way that they talked to each other, and I didn't like the way that they gave each other criticism, and I thought it was done in a very unprofessional and poor manner. So I tried to eliminate that, like right off the bat, and say, like, like you're gonna talk to each other like grown men and like teammates and like family, and um it's kind of taken root and taken hold, and like I think the team is starting to like subconsciously correct themselves and like try and be more mature in the way they approach things, because there's constructive criticism, and then there's kind of just being like like, I don't want to curse, but like,
Yeah, we know what you meant.
yeah, okay. So there's constructive criticism, and then there's that. So the way that things are worded, I think, are very important, and the tones that players have with each other are very important too, because obviously they are all like successful competitors for years in this game. So my intention coming onto the team wasn't to like change up the macro that like Hwinn and like everyone is doing and making them start doing other different crazy stuff. Like I mean, obviously they've had a structure that has worked for a while. So it was just mainly joining the team and just trying to fix like what I felt was kind of broken a little bit, and like and making like kind of like a family environment that has a competitive drive. Like when we go to Malaysia, we do everything together. We eat together. We go out as a team together. If someone's isolated or something, then we hang out with them, and we just kind of really form a bond. I think that's important at LANs, and being successful at LANs, especially at internationals, when you go on like these 30-hour flights and you're just in a crazy different place that you're not used to. And like, I've been, all over the world, so I know how that feels. And, something from the Marine Corps that we did was we always stuck together when we were in foreign places, and it just builds up a unit cohesion. And whether or not teams or players know, it does translate into game. The more time you spend together and the more fun you have with each other and the more family-like you kind of feel. So I think that's kind of a vibe that I'm going to bring. The guys when we're at LAN will obviously see a completely different side of me and how I am. I'm a pretty motivated guy at LAN, but I'm also very outgoing. Like, I'm going to obviously just, I mean, these guys know on SDK, like I always have the vibes high. I'm always making people laugh, like stacking Tig's door with water bottles.
I have something for pranks. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like, stuff like that is fun, like obviously without like, making people pissed off or anything, because we were doing it to you guys when I was on SDK. And by like, doing that as SDK made us, have a laugh and us have some fun. So yeah.
So we're just going to bully Pat.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're gonna just troll SDK the entire time.
It's not let him sleep. No, I will say I've noticed that from just my speaking with the players individually, we have noticed a massive difference. I've noticed a massive difference with them as well. Everyone seems a lot more content, happy, and comfortable around each other, which is fantastic. So hopefully that translates into our next international tournament, because we haven't done too great in our last two. But before we go into that, I would like to go into, obviously we've just completed PAS 1, or is it PAS 1 or PAS 1?
PAS 1.
Obviously we came in there, we finished second. I personally, even though it was a second place, I thought it was a great showing by the Soniqs. I thought we killed a lot without winning. We only won, was it 1 or 2 games? Was it 2 games out of the 16?
Yeah, we fragged out a lot. Yeah.
And we had joint most kills in the tournament, which is, to me, as a numbers guy, is telling. But how do you think, Hwinn, how do you think PAS 1 went, the preparation going into it, how you thought you did? Do you think we could have won it? Could we have done anything different?
It was a fun tournament. I think some of the teams, coming in from group stage and grinding their way up had a little bit more practice. And this, for us, was our first event, in 3 months long off season. So everyone was just really excited to be playing again. That was kind of the vibe. I really liked that. And You know, it was only 15 matches compared to other regions, which are, you know, playing much more matches out. I think we could have won if it was a longer marathon, but, you know, credit to LG, they played well. Day 2, we probably could have got, you know, a handful more of points, which could have, you know, evened it up, but it was still a great showing from us. I was happy with, you know, everyone's performance individually too.
Okay, great. I mean, looking at it, and I would never, you know, and I've seen the LG got blessed with circles and whatnot. I personally think in PUBG, if games are handed to you, you have to win them, right? If
exactly.
there's a game you have to win, good teams win it, right?
Yep.
And they got into positions where they could win games, and that's why they won, you know, 6 of 15 games. So hats off to them. Like I said, I think it's a great thing, you know, to have another all come in and win a tournament is fine. I mean, I'd rather they didn't, but you know, that is what it is. So Tig, how do you think? Same question to you that I asked Hwinn. What do you think? Because you had a pretty good tournament. I'm not sure if you ended up with MVP because I can't remember. It was a few weeks ago now. Did Kickstart end up with MVP?
There wasn't really an MVP, but like on Twire score, which they usually go off of, Tig had the highest Twire score for sure by quite a bit.
How does he do it?
I was dropping bombs this tournament. Yeah, I mean, for me individually, it was a really fun tournament. I've been trying to make a lot of changes to like my psychology recently, because I feel like the pressure gets to me sometimes, and I don't play loose and I don't play comfortable. When I think about the weight that's on my shoulders and the fans that believe in me, I don't know, it just stresses me out a lot. And I never really thought about it that much going into previous events. But recently I've just kind of decided, like, why should I ever feel nervous in these situations? Like, this was my childhood dream to play esports professionally. And when I used to play in MPL and stuff, I would get up on stage and I would be ecstatic to play. I would never feel nervous, really. I would just feel like I had something to prove. And I feel like at some point my brain flipped from feeling like no longer feeling like I have something to prove, and more just like trying to meet the expectation.
I have to perform instead.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, exactly. I feel like at some point my brain flipped that switch. And
well, that's what happens when you become a big Mr. Big Shot, you know?
Right. And there was just a lot of like external pressure that I don't think I was really giving myself the proper like mental equipment or mental process to like understand and overcome. I wasn't really helping myself. So this tournament, I had a big reflection. I've been reading some books recently, and I've been trying to improve my mentality outside of just like purely focusing on the game.
That's good. And hopefully, you know, I'm sure you'll see dividends of that. Question I want to ask to all three of you. Was there any teams that surprised you in PAS1? Was there anyone that you thought, wow, we did not expect that from them?
Shout out Tater and the boys on FB.
Yeah.
Making it all the way through till finals, and then what'd they finish? Top 8, maybe?
11th.
Hey, they got the finals. They got theirs.
That's good.
No, yeah. Good for them.
Mine would have been Camborghini and his team. I mean, I know they got the new buff from a walk round.
They made finals too.
Good. Alive.
Over Yahoo.
Well, true Yahoo, yep. That's
why
Yahoo. I think quality is a surprise.
Triple I was big for me too, because obviously, you know, Gas left the region and Adam got dropped, and there was literally only a few days left for Adam to find a team, and he found his way onto Triple I, which is definitely a weird mix of players. But I think he brought a maturity to that team, like with like Oldest and stuff. Because like, you know, historically people would look at Oldest as like he trolls and scrims, blah, blah, blah. But mechanically, he's actually an incredible player. And I've been watching him for a long time, obviously. And I always even thought to myself, like, maybe if I was able to work with a player like that, like how much better I can make them if they were able to just mature, like as a person and in their game. And I think Adam came onto that team and really provided that maturity and stability for them. And I just think that was what they needed to kind of put them up at the top and qualify for PGS. So, I mean, honestly, good for them. They also have a good coach as well that I think is a very mature guy, Uller. So I think he helped a lot with that too. But yeah, I mean, I think that would probably be definitely the biggest surprise considering they're going to PGS now.
Yeah.
A lot of people wrote them off for sure.
Would you? So, if you had to pick the 4 teams beforehand, I think most of us would have gone Soniqs, LG, STK. Who did we expect to be the 4th team? Who were we expecting it to be? Yahoo? Were we expecting it to be
Yahoo or Gas? Yahoo lost sparking.
Well, Yahoo was knocked out, so obviously they didn't qualify.
Yeah.
So, as far as qualifying for PGS, I thought it would have been Friendly Fire. I thought it would have been us, STK,
team, right?
LG. Yes, us, STK, LG, and Friendly Fire at first. Because a lot of teams made some roster changes, like Elevate, they did pretty well, but they obviously made some roster changes as well. So yeah, definitely Friendly Fire, although I will give a shout out to Shrimsy, who actually did call all 4 teams being accurate.
Well, I would have put Nation, the Brazilian superstar squad, 100%.
Oh yeah.
They dropped 100 and something points in 5 games in the South American.
True, yeah.
They were running around and dominating everyone. And that team mechanically, and if you look at their past performances in tournaments, is like the superstar Brazilian squad. I don't think there's ever been a stronger team out of South America.
Yeah, sure.
It really surprised me that they didn't even place in the top 6.
Hunter, anyone for you?
I mean, Triple I was the surprise as far as I thought Elevate or FF would be above them. But they did really well in scrims, and that was surprising me. Like leading up to the event, they seemed to be playing seriously and like having consistent results. So it just shows like, if you're taking your training seriously, the results will follow. If you have the right mindset as a team.
I think obviously mentioning Adam's been on a few teams. I think he's done well everywhere he's gone. But it's a good segue for us to talk about obviously other regions. Obviously Gascan's made the move to OCE, and I believe it was Luke 12, your ex-player.
Yeah.
And Greg.
Sure. Yeah, Adam's spot, yeah.
Yeah. And who were the other 2?
Nikos and Cal. Waikikamu
Cal, yeah. They obviously, I personally thought that was a crazy decision. Personally, I thought they were a strong team in NA, and they probably should have stayed in NA. To run the gauntlet and just go for a top 1 spot. And I'm sure that they thought they'd just roll with someone as good as Luke 12 coming in and replacing Adam, that they would just, who's normally been a traditional leader IGL role, not so much of a fragger, that they just roll that. But it seems that Apex Predator was it? Is that what the team?
Archangel Predator.
Close. Honestly, it seems I didn't look this up before. I'm
Then from the Philippines.
They ran it close, right? And Gascans didn't end up making it.
Well, yeah, neither did Archangel Predator, though. A different OS team made it, which was the biggest surprise to everybody.
How did that happen?
EXO.
Well, actually, in the story goes, so in the final game, AAP was in 3rd place, and they were behind by 20 points from the 2nd and 1st place teams.
Right, because I didn't watch it, and I'm just gonna pretend nobody did. Because when I seen it, it was Gascans 1 and Archangel Predator 2, and they were like joint points, and then it was quite a big gap.
That's like that was probably halfway through the tournament, because by the time there was
how many games did they
EXO,
play?
Quite a few.
They played 20.
Okay,
20. Yeah, at one point I think it was AAP and Gas at the top.
Yeah, it was. EXO had literally like 8 points on the first day or something like that.
So how did they do?
Well, they didn't play the first day, but then I guess they realized that they were better than, most of the other teams in the lobby, and they stepped it up, where I think Guess realized that a little too late. I mean, obviously, I think mechanically Guess was the best team in that lobby, and they should have just been steamrolling from game 1 to game 20 of just literally just running around and fragging everybody out. But I think a lot of their games, they played a little
timid.
Yeah, I mean, in some situations, because I actually watch partied every game with Shrimsy and you a bunch with the music thing.
I was just after the music battles.
Yeah, that's fair. But you were there. Yeah, I mean, they obviously, I still think Guess probably the best team in that region, and they
still
qualified. Yeah, but they had dropped Greg Shot, so.
And I'm not going to try and talk about speculation here, but if you're any of those teams going to PGS, are you thinking, Luke 12's a free agent right now, technically?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they can play with them since he.
I'm going to stop, so.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't go as if he doesn't go as a sub, if eligible, I think that's obviously pretty.
Not eligible, did you say?
Yeah, I don't think he's eligible.
He's not eligible.
Yeah. So
I don't really know.
Well, they didn't really state the rules on that, especially because like it was the PUBG Challenger Rumble for APAC where one team quals. So I don't really know what the rules were for that. But yeah, I mean, obviously with him being available as a sub or something, like
I'll be happy if he doesn't go because I still have nightmares about the bush. And
yeah, that's fair.
There's two recurring nightmares that I have.
Not talk about him.
It's that one and old Twiggleton over there peeking the tree and getting downed in a 1v1 situation.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I'll block that out. I'd like to comment about the gas situation. I mean, to be brutally honest, I think they had a really good performance. They made it to finals at PGC, and they had pop-off game. They had 20-something kills, 22, I don't remember. And then they come back, and everyone ranked them like the third best team in A. I mean, they could have even, for all we know, done better than that. So to just want to move to OC, like kick your IGL and pick up Luke 12 from a team, no offense to Gunner, that was not consistent the past year on SDK, they were LG at the time. I think it's a terrible move, and I think it's a classic of, a lot of teams in PUBG have this I think I know better mentality. I'm sure that was on that team, and they paid the price for cutting out him.
And just and this is no shade, but I was on record saying I thought it was a cowardly way out. I thought they just thought they'd be able to go there and dominate and just easily qualify, and they were shown that they couldn't. And I feel like if you make that decision, it normally comes back to bite you. And obviously it did. I would have preferred them to have stayed in North America where they were competing well, and for me they should have. So
it just doesn't make sense to want to cut your IGL after such a performance to pick up a superstar. I mean, 4 superstars don't make a team. Chemistry makes a team. I could break both my hands, and you guys could pick up Ming Ming, who speaks fluent English. Probably wouldn't be better overnight. It might take a little, some time.
You've been playing pretty well lately, though, for an old man.
Yeah. I'm not in my prime yet. I've been saying this upwards trajectory. Tom Brady's getting tackled playing football at 40. He'll be using keyboard and mouse still I'm 40.
There you go. Okay.
Sir.
Okay. So we're going to have to move on to other regions. Now, this is where I'm going to have to lean on you guys because I only really follow Europe and NA. And because they're the...
Follow Europe this time around?
I did. I jump in and I watched Howl dub it up a few. So let's talk about Europe. You guys take the charge on this one. Tig, you see you got a big smile on your face. So you explain to me like I'm a fan what happened in Europe and how it was shocking.
I personally just think that Europe is in shambles. The inconsistency there is just outrageous. At least it's not a top-heavy lobby, but I think it should be, honestly, with the caliber of teams that are in there. It doesn't really make sense to me how a team like Na'Vi can have 2 points in the first day after winning groups, winners, and finals at the World Championship in the most recent event. Like, the inconsistency in that region is just shocking. And I think that maybe that has a lot to do with the partner invites because they only had top 2 qualify for PGS. Yeah, pressure was off for Na'Vi, TM, and FaZe. FaZe was actually in the running to win it, which is lovely to see, but they ended up kind of falling off a little bit towards the end. Howl and Ascend, I think they both qualified through last chance qualifier. Ascend actually qualified, I think,
in the last game.
If I'm not mistaken, they qualified in the last game, but I think they qualified in 8th place in the last chance qualifier. So they were the lowest team coming in, literally last qualified team. Win second in the tournament, practically almost won the tournament if that Howl guy didn't get one flush from the blue before he died. It was that close. And Exalt as well, they're becoming in 3rd place, and they could have won the tournament when they're such a new team as well. It just doesn't really make much sense to me. even in China, a region where there is talent just oozing out the cracks, they still have a consistent top 5. The same teams are consistently performing, and I just don't really understand why Europe doesn't have that. I think the meta there is just, it's very strange.
Just play devil's advocate. We normally very consistent throughout the year, and then when we go to international events, we're consistent the other way. But that's just for the EU fans.
The opposite.
Don't hate me.
Is the inverse Sonics only good at PGC.
Yeah. Okay, so Howell ended up winning. How close was it in the end?
It was literally the last game, like the last 5 minutes.
The guy taking blue damage, and he shoots a knocked player twice, and then he ticks to blue and dies. It was like, he had to hit 2 bullets consecutively before he died to the blue to get the kill steal to win the tournament. It was that close in the last game, and he hit the 2 shots. Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. So, what about the other regions? What about, you guys can talk about, I'm not even going to try and remember. I was about to say LCK, but that's League of Legends.
I'm not.
Were the other partner teams consistent in the other regions, or was it the same story across the board?
Well, in Korea, they have Gen G. They got 5th overall. So, like, obviously, I mean, they were going no matter what, but I think it's pretty safe to say Danwha is the above and beyond best team in that region. Yeah. They just basically picked, I mean, they just have an all-star team. Like, I'm just going to be completely honest. They probably have one of, if not the best team in the world, really, like, as far as like experience and mechanics. The team's just insane. So I think everyone knew that they were probably going to win. They knew they were probably going to win, and then they did win.
What now for my own?
It's Seoul and Salute, who were the like original like staple 2 players of Danwha that have never changed, and then they had like subs and other people come in, and then now they have Loki and Anonix. So obviously 2 of the most experienced.
Gen G, right?
Yes.
Loki.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yes. Yeah, you're pretty good. Yeah.
So they got a partnership team.
Yeah, exactly.
Project.
Yeah. So they brought in 2 of the most experienced PUBG players, obviously, like in Korea, and then now they have like the super team of Korea. Next team would be Pentagram, which is Adder's team, and then obviously
T1.
Yeah, Adder was on T1. That is correct. Yeah, and with Akkad and Akari, so they have another really good team. So they called as well. I will say I nailed the teams that were going to call from Korea. So just saying, I'm pretty good with that. To follow that region pretty closely because I just enjoy watching the meta that they play over there. And then
China was at 4 a.m.
4 a.m. was the partner team. Yeah, that is correct.
But they knew happy.
They won.
And they won as well. Yeah, they did win. Yeah.
So they were the only partner team to win their event. Is that right?
Second and third were 17 and New Happy, so they did good.
That's a strong region, as we know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, they won. New Happy was close. But yeah, I mean, they ended up winning, and obviously they were a partner team, so that
Gex won their region, so they're a partner team too.
Oh,
right. I mean,
it's Gex.
Wait, what? No, why?
No, Gex was just a APAC team that went. Partner.
Yeah. So 4 a.m. won their region, so obviously it goes down a slot, and then you see Tiamba there now. So yeah, I mean, overall, obviously a lot of the other regions are really strong.
What about the I'm going to try to say
Not good.
Not good.
No.
We qualified from the Thai region then.
Trade Gaming.
Yeah.
Day trade.
By far and large the best Thai team. They've been popping off, dominating that region for a long time. They're like the Sonics of Thailand when it comes to their regional events.
Right.
The other teams to qual, Cerberus Esports from Vietnam, who are extremely strong.
Yep.
They put up a really good showing at PGC Dubai, if you remember, with that Tycon guy.
I remember, yeah.
He's popping off.
Yeah.
So those 2, we both expected them to qual. The third team to come from their island, Purple Meter Esport, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Tanawat because he's been around for a long time, but I don't know the rest of that team. So
Yeah, I was.
Those guys just got a buff from Tiggleton doubting them, so they're gonna do great.
No, I mean they played actually really well, but you got to keep in mind, like they literally played 60 games to our 15. Their finals were 60 games.
Yeah, it was 60 games. How
60 games?
Do they have it produced and casted?
Yes, yeah, oh yeah. It was 60 games. I watched a lot of this.
Crazy.
Thailand has a ridiculous viewership though. Like,
yeah,
it's 100,000 people plus watching.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, we saw it at PNC when we were there. Dan had a line out the freaking door for like 8 hours. So, I mean, and he's not even from Thailand. So,
So I should sell him to Thailand as like a national treasure.
Yeah, you'd make bank, let me tell you.
Just retire. So I was actually having this conversation. Don't think this has been announced publicly yet, but it probably will be by the time this comes out. Or if it isn't, there's not much crossover anyway. But me and Parasaurus were just having this conversation because I did just hire him as our director of esports at Harrisburg University, and we were just in a meeting just before I got here, and we were talking about esports. Someone asked what's the best esport in the world, in his opinion, to watch, and he obviously said PUBG. For me, it's close. I think it's PUBG just because we had so much success, but close by Rocket League. I mean, I found Rocket League incredibly exciting. But I just wanted to throw that out there and give Power a little name drop.
Sure.
You know, it is what it is. So going into, not to get distracted by that, I'm not going to ask you guys what your favorite. In fact, go ahead. Tell me outside of PUBG, what's your favorite esport to watch?
Mine was growing up just the Counter-Strike series.
Counter-Strike?
And Warcraft 3, StarCraft 2.
Interesting. I could never watch those games. There's too much moving around.
Yeah.
What about you, Jimmy?
I like watching Dota 2 just because the prize pool. The League of Legends obviously has, I think League of Legends has the best production value, the most hype worlds. I love watching League of Legends finals. But in Dota 2, my heart pounds thinking about how much money these people are going to win. If they win the tournament, they make $3 million each. Like, the pressure in those games is just ridiculous. I can't imagine playing for $3 million. Personally, we won PGIS. We made $1.3 million as a team. I'm stressing.
1.6.
1.6 million. 1.6 million as a team, and that was like the biggest event that PUBG's ever had prize pool wise. I just can't imagine it. Dota is there's just another level of pressure.
Okay, and what about you, Gunnar?
You could probably guess mine. You know where my roots started, so.
Well, I could guess it, but the crowd might
that's
say.
True. Yeah, that's true. It's a League, definitely.
I'm a Fnatic fanboy back in the day, baby. Go X-Pac, Ace,
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I don't watch too much of the LCS anymore, but like if Worlds is on, I'm going to basically be trying to watch it just because like what Tig said, I think the production value is always good. I think there's always like really great storylines with like Faker and then all like the, whether or not NA is going to even make it out of groups and stuff like that. So it's always good.
Going over 10 years.
That's what I mean. It's great. I'm just curious at this point if it's actually going to happen and NA is actually going to win anything. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a League for me.
So jump from one Worlds to the next big global tournament we have, which is PGS 1. So we're going into it. It's in Malaysia. All right. So it's quite far away. I've been to Malaysia. Don't know if anyone else has. I love it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I've been to Malaysia, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't think that I wrote. Malaysia.
It's a little private island called Langkawi. If anyone wants to Google it, it was beautiful.
Nice. Good for you.
Private enough about private islands.
There will not be a Netflix documentary on this private island.
All right.
I didn't mean private island, private beach. My mistake. Langkawi is not private. So what are you guys thinking? Obviously, this is going in, and it's not going to be a PGC. It's going to be PGS. Is there any difference between the formats at all that people need to know about? Is there anything different that you guys are expecting from going into this championship compared to others? It's nice now that there's more than one. I've always said to you guys, as you know, Worlds is very different. The PGCs back in the day have always been difficult because you don't get that international crossover much in PUBG anymore. So you never know how those, if we compare to say Rainbow Six, where there's like 2 or 3 majors a year where you constantly playing against the best teams from different regions, it's very hard to gauge where you are. So obviously, I think my personal opinion is having 2 international events a year is grand, and then Worlds is going to be fantastic because it gives us more what I think PUBG wants, which is international events. I think that's what the PUBG fan base wants anyway, especially what I want. Not when we have to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, but it is what it is. So yeah, any 30,000 feet and above thoughts that you guys have on the PGS system? Is there any changes that myself or the fans need to know about? How excited are you for it? We'll start with you, Hunter.
I mean, I think you covered it. Just there's more international competition this year, and I think that's going to be a buffer for us as a team because, you know, our last 2 events we've struggled. So having some smaller events per se lead up to the big one can really help us, you know, kind of acclimate to the LAN environment and regain our confidence as a team.
Mm-hmm. I think I echo what you're saying as well. I think it's going to give a lot of people more confidence in what they are doing internationally, because it's also always very hard, as I know for us in the past, going there, like who's going to be, like who's dropping where are we going to contest these people? It's going to give you more chance to build a long-term international strategy that you'll be able to, you know, implement at these events. James, what do you think? Are you excited now that there's more international events? I know you love traveling because you never get sick. James goes anywhere that isn't that room he's sitting in right now, he'll be dead the next day.
That's crazy.
And even that room he has in, okay, just tangent before we go back to that. James is obsessed with black mold and air conditioning, but that's a story for another time.
Hey, man's getting sick out of nowhere, bro. It's got to be the AK.
You know what? You know why I think you get sick, but I'm just saying. Souls.
No soul anymore. That's funny. When it comes to the international events, I'm pretty excited, obviously. I think it's going to be a buff for us having multiple events this year. Given the fact that our region plays fewer games and that the practice in the Americas region is never going to be as good as the practice that the other regions are getting with the bigger populations. So, sorry about that car outside. That's going to be really valuable for us to improve as a team. I think these events are going to be the best practice we could possibly get for PGC, and I think that's going to help us kind of catch up in some of the faculties that we're maybe not as strong as other regions at. So that's very exciting, especially with the new format. I mean, PGC the last 2 years, I think the format with the bottom 4 qualifying with Grand Survival has just kind of thrown a spanner in the works, and it's been, I mean, not to say we would have qualified without Grand Survival, but I think that those events have just been kind of like a
very stressful
mosh pit, very stressful, and I think that this format now is going to produce way more consistent international performances with the highest tier final lobbies that we could possibly see.
So going into PGX, because I don't off the top of my head know the format, is it a similar format as Grand Survival, or is it just straight group stages, or is it just straight?
Yeah. So it's just what team?
Just let me explain it.
Thanks. Thanks. I was going to throw it to you anyway.
No. Yeah, so there's no Grand Survival, anything like that. Basically, there's 24 teams, so you're going to have 3 groups of 8. Those have been posted publicly already. Personally, I think we do have the strongest group. Not even being biased, I really do think that, just as far as teams go. But if you could look at any group, honestly, with these teams, the caliber of teams coming and being like, you know what, I think they're the strongest group, and you will have an argument point, like to be like, yeah, this is why they're the strongest. So yeah, I mean, those teams we're all gonna play each other. So we should be playing since we're Group B, we should be playing days 1 and day 2. And then obviously just watch the 3rd day, when Groups A and Group C play.
Oh, that could be stressful.
Yeah, it definitely can, sure. And then basically you have the top teams at that point, that are playing the bottom or top 16, I should say. And then the bottom 8 will go into the losers bracket, similar to last PGC. And then the winners bracket are going to be the top 16 teams out of the group stage. They're going to play 2 days and then the top 8 from the winners bracket automatically qualified to the grand finals. And then the bottom 8 from the winners bracket are going to play the 8 teams that didn't make it out of groups in the losers bracket, in which the top 8 from the losers bracket will then go to the grand finals. So, and that's it. It's a very fair system. And I think it's the best system that PUBG could really come up with for these events, because you have multiple chances. Like, I'll be honest, if we go there and we do terrible in groups, right? And then we're in the losers bracket, and then we're still playing these, and we have more chances, like, to just get top 8. You just need to get top 8. There's 24 teams there. There's 8 teams that aren't going to be played in the grand finals. If we're not one of them, then we have just, I mean, if any team isn't one of them, then you just really underperformed. Okay. You just have to get top 8 a couple times. So, I mean, it is the best system, I think, that they've ever ran. And again, like, I mean, it's fair for everybody. Obviously, every team that is going is very talented. So any team that goes has the potential to get top 8. But, I mean, it's PUBG, so you never really know.
You never know. So I assume there's no change to the scoring system at all. It's still the same scoring system for points.
Yeah, no, I mean, the only change, obviously, which has been a thing for a little bit now, is just a tiebreaker change. It's no longer kill points, it's placement points. It's been a thing for a little while, but a lot of fans and a lot of people don't know that yet, or because they'll be like, how is this team not in first? Because it was kill points for a very, very long time, but now it is placement points as the tiebreakers. So.
All right, well, to wrap it up, because I don't know how long we've been speaking for, but it's probably quite a while now. I just want all of your thoughts, how you guys feel going into this PGS. If you're confident, if how you feel we're going to perform. And then we'll just wrap it up there by you all picking which team you think has the best chance of winning that isn't us. So we'll start with you, James.
I'm very excited to see how we perform. I don't want to jinx us and say we're going to play really well, but I think if we keep our minds on straight and play confidently, especially given, like, it's not a PTC prize pool, If you win, you make 85K. That's more than we've made. Oh, sorry, that's equivalent roughly to what we would have made in a couple of our PCSs. This tournament is big, but we need to approach it with that open mindset to help us perform the best. And if we do that, I think that we'll be able to build confidence and roll a lot of people. That being said,
go ahead.
Yeah, with that being said, I was just going to say, if I had to pick a team to win, I would definitely pick one of the Chinese teams. I think that they have the most consistency, and when it comes to playing confident at these kind of events and just running around and killing everyone, I think they're the best at it. So I think I would still pick New Happy, and I think that would just kind of be funny because they aren't a global partner team. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like that's just kind of poetic.
Okay, we'll throw it over to you, Gunnar. What do you think? Same question.
Well, obviously going into the event, we're going to be prepared and extremely confident, prepared to really do anything, like flex anything, without giving too much away. We've been practicing a lot, and studying, and people have been doing things on their own time, which is something I always like to see, like, as a coach. That makes me very happy that I don't have to really bring all of the tools to the table and then have a team just look at it and then get overwhelmed with stuff. So when people are doing stuff on their own time and studying on their own time, listening to the VODs and stuff that I record, listening to the comms that I record on their own time, I don't know, it just, anytime I hear one of my players do that, it makes me very, very happy. So I am really confident coming to the event, because that just shows individually, players are striving to get better and striving to win. If I had to pick a team other than us that I think can win the event or should win the event, it would probably be Danelaw, for the reasons I've explained before. I mean, I think they're playing with full confidence, tons of experience. They have a chip on their shoulder. Obviously, they didn't get globally partnered with arguably the best roster ever put together in Korea. So yeah, I mean, they're one of them. I mean, they are my favorite team outside of like, you know, us and, you know, actually screw those SDK guys. No, but I mean, other than us and SDK, they are obviously my favorite team. So yeah, I'll definitely go with Danwa.
And finally, Hunter, what do you think?
I mean, I think I like the way Tig put it. Like, I felt like these past few tournaments, we've been trying to play to an expectation, and in a sense, we've felt like a heightened level of anxiety. Maybe we're not playing as confident as, you know, you're used to seeing the Sonics play. So this first PGS, with all the work we've put in the past few months with Gunner, it feels like we're hungry again, and that's the biggest difference for me. Like, the whole team feels hungry, and that's gonna have an impact with how we're playing, how we're communicating, vibing. And even at an individual level, I mean, everyone's trying their best to improve. I got a new mouse. I'm clicking. I'm doing my daily push-ups, you know, like Tig's reading books, apparently, trying to get smart.
I didn't know Tig could read. So.
I didn't know he could read either. So, like,
Yeah, he can read. He can read.
I'm used to going into Tig's office and seeing him watch videos with a weird color setting.
When I told Mime how many books I've either listened to or read in like the last like 5 months, his mind was blown, and he's like, "I'm going to get some books. I could read too, yeah."
Wow.
Amazing time, yeah.
I
I'll leave it at
found this
that.
book at the bookstore the other day, and it was called Twitch for Dummies.
Oh, did you please tell me you bought it?
I didn't buy it. I picked it up and I took a photo with it.
Well, so who do you think's going to win, Hunter? We've had that DWG, we've got New Happy, and now who do you think's going to bring it home if it's not the Sonics?
It's not TWG, but you know,
It's Dana One Gaming, isn't it? Isn't that what it is?
DNW.
No, sorry, my bad. Dan One Kia, I think that's what I was thinking about.
Dana one.
Yeah.
What against? I don't know.
I mean, I think Chinese teams are the best when it comes to just playing, you know, merry-go-round and killing everyone in their way. I don't know if they're the most strong as far as macro. I think a team like Danawa probably would be a favorite in my eyes, and they seem to have awesome vibes as a team. I don't think they have any hotheads on their team. Like, they're all going to the gym, they're healthy. So they're a favorite, but I think it'd be kind of cool if it wasn't for us to win. I'd like to see an APAC team win just because they have such a large fan base. Like, if Daytrade, like a Thai team won, it would be just so awesome to see, like, as a viewer, I guess.
Just for the region.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. I'm not going to give any predictions because every time I do, well, they come to pass. So I think I don't want to jinx anything. So, well, anyway, we'll wrap it up there, guys. Thanks for your time. Thanks the fans for keep supporting us. Please turn out and show your support for us in the upcoming PAS, and hopefully we can do a hell of a lot better than we did at other international events apart from PGIS.
Yes, sir.
So, I'm looking forward to it, and until then, we'll see you in episode 3, which I have no idea when that will be, but I promise we'll all wear tank tops.
Sure.
Now we're gonna. This has got a mature rating.
I gotta start hitting my push-ups then.